Hi guys, I'm the Infamous, and today we're going to be taking a look at Saber's Lightcones, Eidolons, teams, and more. Now I'll have chapters so you guys can skip to a part you guys like, but I'd recommend watching the whole way through just to make sure you guys are actually making the best out of your Saber. Now with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Saber is a wind destruction unit, and she's actually fairly unique in the sense that she is actually a collab character, meaning that if you guys are playing any later than 3.6, to be honest, you guys probably don't own her, depending on how long the banner is actually going to be out, because as of right now, they haven't announced it. But regardless, whether you guys are watching later or new, if you guys own her or don't, this will determine a lot of how you guys are going to be playing her. For example, if you guys own her and you guys do not own her Lightcone, one of the best substitutes is going to be one of the best free-to-play options in the game. That being Fall of an Aeon. You guys are going to get a lot of attack bonuses, and if you guys break a person, you're getting a damage percent increase. Now, we all know how good Fall of an Aeon is. You guys can put that in literally anybody, any destruction unit, and it will give value unless you're HP scaling. So naturally, it's going to work for her. Just keep in mind, you guys are losing out on a lot of crit value. Now, aside from that, you guys could actually run a very new 5-star Lightcone. Problem is, if you guys are going to be summoning in this patch, which Finon just came out, obviously you guys shouldn't be picking this over Saber's Lightcone because it's her signature. It's obviously going to be the best in slot with her. But this is also a decent sub. This is going to give you 12% flat increase, which might help you guys break the 135 speed threshold easier. And when dealing damage, you ignore some defense as well as giving yourself some, damage when you ultimate for the next turn. Now, this is her second best in slot, but again, you guys have to pay for this. You guys have to summon, and I don't think this is worth it, especially right now if you guys are playing, because again, you guys can quite literally pick out Saber's Lightcone. There's no point in not going for it. But again, if you guys are in the future and you guys just so happen to have Saber without her Lightcone, then yeah, if you guys want the second best in slot, you guys just really like her and you guys weren't fortunate enough to get her Lightcone. Again, it's a niche circumstance, but Finon's Lightcone should be that second best in slot. Again, it's just up to you guys on how you guys want to play her, but obviously her signature will be the best in slot in most scenarios. When it comes to Saber's tracers, I say this in quite literally every video, but please, for the love of God, level your tracers. There is no excuse, no reason to save your materials. If you are struggling with leveling your characters, I don't know what else to tell you other than please just be patient and level them later. So if I were to recommend anything as a priority list, first, upgrade her ultimate. Second, her talent because it increases her ultimate damage. Then you can do your skill along with your basic. Now the basic is actually fairly important in comparison to other basics because you guys actually have an enhanced basic in this kit. Now, ultimate damage is the main priority, mainly because it's her main source of damage. But again, please make sure to level up every tracer. There is no excuse. There is no reason not to, especially when it comes to her, because again, the only trace you wouldn't want to upgrade is her basic, and she has an enhanced one. So there is no exception here. Please level up every trace. When it comes to Saber's builds, I think it's very self-explanatory when it comes to her actual set, her 4-piece, but when it comes to the 2-piece in terms of her actual plan R sets, it will change depending on how you're building her. For example, I'm running her on 135 speed, so easily I'm choosing Glamoth because you're going to get a 12% permanent attack increase as well as the damage increase. Now, if you guys were playing her slower, something I would actually recommend over this is Inert Sausalado. You guys are getting a very significant ultimate damage increase as well as follow-up. Now, the downside is follow-up is dog shit. She doesn't even do follow-ups, so it's gone. But it's also a very simple thing to proc because all you need is 50 crit rate, and basically everybody in the game is going to have this. There's not a single reason why you shouldn't have bare minimum 50 crit rate. Now, aside from this, the third best slot would be Rudolent Arena. You guys are getting skill increased damage and basic attack damage instead of the ultimate, so it just depends on how you guys are going to choose to play her. But again, this is her third best in slot on average, and it's also a little harder to get just because you want 70 crit rate instead of the 50. Again, that shouldn't be difficult for anybody because that should be the bare minimum in terms of a stat line. 70 should be the bare minimum crit rate, but in general, it just depends on how you're playing her because I think most people are going to have 135. I personally recommend Glamoth as your priority, but again, it just depends. Now, the easy thing I can recommend is Wave Strider Captain for the 4-piece. There really is no other substitute. Anytime you guys are getting skilled, which you're going to want to run a hyper carry setup like Bronina, Sunday, Sparkle, you guys will be getting a attack increase just by getting skilled, getting any support whatsoever. So in general, if you guys can, run the Wave Strider set. It's just really good for anybody that's getting a hyper carry setup. Easy to recommend. The Planar set is a little fishy. It just depends on what you want to run. But Glamoth is overall the best in slot, especially if you're running 135 speed. When it comes to Saber's Eidolons, when it comes to just the raw vertical investment, she's not going to be as crazy as somebody like Firefly, where her E2 quite literally gives her another turn whenever she breaks somebody. Somebody like Don Hung, even an older character, where if you pop his ultimate, you get an instant advance. Newer character example is Caster or somebody that summons a dragon, she also gets an insta character advance. A lot of these people have insane vertical investment, not just because of the fact that they have more utility and raw damage and multipliers, but also because they themselves get more actions, more turns. If we compare that to Saber, in all honesty, she's pretty mediocre in terms of her investment. But you guys have to keep in mind, because of the fact that she's a collab character, there's a chance she may never come back. So for me, for that reason, I want to try to at least get Eidolon 2, so that, you know, for those that are actually summoning on her when she's on release, later down the line, she will still be able to hold her own just because I have a little more investment into her. Regardless, you guys don't need to, because as of right now, E0 S0 is perfectly fine, but it's just up to you guys, and this is how I personally enjoy playing the game. Now, when we start taking a look at the Eidolons, Eidolon 1 is going to be increasing the ultimate damage, which is massive because that's her main multipliers. Her biggest multiplier is her ultimate damage, so increasing that further is going to be very nice to see. After Saber uses a basic attack or skill, you're going to be getting Core Resonance. Core Resonance is very good because that literally increases your skill damage multipliers as well as gives you energy. That is massive because more energy means more ults means more damage, and with this M1 you're getting a bigger multiplier. So again, overall just really massive. Now your second Eidolon is going to give you the ability to defense ignore. You guys can stack it up to 15 times, meaning you guys can get up to 15% defense ignore. Now you guys also get a multiplier increase depending on how many core resonance you guys have, and the fact that Eidolon 1 makes it easier to build it, it means that this is going to work in perfect synergy to Eidolon 1. Very nice to see. We like to see that. The fourth one is actually very nice and very significant in terms of DPS. You are going to be increasing her wind res pen. That is very good for quite literally any character, okay? Having any res pen is nice to see. After using an ultimate, it also increases it up to 12% res pen if you stack it, and she starts off at 8. So the fact that she's also getting this off of ultimate just proves how much she's going to be, you know, relying on it. It's very nice to see. Excalibur is going to be even stronger with Eidolon 4. Eidolon 6, also insane. You guys are going to have more res pen. The damage dealt by it is going to be even higher. You guys are going to be able to accumulate energy like there's no tomorrow. Increases to 200%. There's a fixed multiplier of 300. You guys can literally spam ults more often because of this. That's very insane, especially because, like I said before, it is her main source of damage. So if you guys want, yeah, you guys could go for E6. Would I ever recommend going for it? Hell no. But do keep in mind, if you were to go for any E6, this might be the character, because again, she may never come back. So if you guys were to, this might be your main reason to. Again, up to you guys. I think she's perfectly fine at E0 S0, but I personally went for Eidolon 2 just because of the fact that she's a collab. Again, it's really nice to see the fact that Saber is actually from Fate and she's in the game. For me, that's the biggest reason, but it's just up to you on why you guys want to go for Eidolons in the first place. When looking at Saber's best of slot teams, it's very self-explanatory just because of the fact that her kit is very simple to work around. Because of the fact that she already has so much attack, naturally, you guys want to try to make up for the other substats she might be missing. For example, crit rate, crit damage, damage percentage, and specifically, she wants a lot of energy. Now, the best part about Sunday is that he is by far her best of slot teammate. He gives advanced action, damage percentage, crit rate, crit damage, as well as energy regen. He is just him. So if you guys want her best in slot teammate, by far, go for Sunday. Now, for sustain, her best in slot teammate is going to be a Huohuo because she's also giving energy as well as attack. She's also just overall a very solid healer with AoE support. So again, I would definitely recommend going for a Huohuo. Now, the only thing that could be substitutable in this whole team would be Robin. If you guys have an M1 Robin and an E0 S0 Tribi, the E1 Robin will actually be better than her because of the res pen. But if you guys do not have a, you know, res pen Robin and you guys have M0 for both of them, I would actually recommend going for Tribi because from my experience, I think Tribi's type res down is just so universally good. This is by far a better teammate. But if you want to replace both of them and just go completely free to play friendly, you guys can use the Trailblazer for the true damage bonus or crit damage, whatever you guys want from him. And if you guys don't want to run him instead, you can even go more free to play friendly with somebody like Ting Yun. She also gives attack and energy regen, and it's very universal for quite literally any attack scaler, but it's specific Saber because she wants energy regen. Again, she is very simple because she's basically just like any other traditional hyper carry DPS. Again, you guys build her how you guys want to build her, but as long as you guys have Sunday and Huohuo, your team is basically made for itself. Right now, we're going to be going into an MOC fight just so I can try to showcase how her kit actually looks and works in game. Now, first things first, when using her technique, you guys will be getting 35% attack, and though basic, it's actually very strong because once we enter battle, it will last for 2 turns. Now that we're in battle, you guys will notice something next to Saber's icon. This is Core Resonance. Now Core Resonance, depending on whether you have Eidolons or you just have the base kit, you guys will be able to get free crit damage and skill damage. Your multipliers just flat out increase. Very nice, very basic. Now to build this up, it's also very basic. All you guys really have to do is ultimates, whether it's from your teammates or yourself. You guys also get accumulation bars for your energy. And you guys will also be able to see that right here. Usually it just has the green, just like it has for every other character. But here you guys can see a little tint of white. Now that hollow point actually represents how much you can accumulate and overcap to. And once you guys reach the top with that, you guys will be able to get a free action advance via any form of energy. For example, when I use her skill, we increase our core resonance. I'm going to bring her back up with Sunday. And because of the fact that we're basically borderline max energy, once I use this skill, you guys will notice I will get a free advance forward along with a enhanced skill. Now this will be able to allow me to overcap, and that's going to be huge. The overcapping right here is overflow energy. That means that once I pop this ult, I'm going to have 61 free energy once I have this. So for example, I'm not going to start off at 0. See, immediately after popping it, it starts to fly back up, which is insanely convenient because that means that you guys are going to be able to spam your ultimates. Now, keep in mind, that's where most of Saber's damage comes from, so the fact that you guys can even do that is very, very nice to see. Now, aside from core resonance and her ability to be able to over-accumulate energy, another big thing is the fact that because you can get advanced forwards anytime you guys overcap on energy, it's actually not just from Saber. You can get that from Sunday's ult, Ho-Ho's ult, or even getting punched because getting hit in this game gives you energy. Any form of energy, external factors, actually works. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of tech with that in mind. Right here, we're going to skill so we can get enough energy with Ho-Ho. And then when this Saber turn happens, I'm going to be able to get a free action advance before we even come to Sunday's turn. Now, one thing I have to quickly mention is once you use an ultimate, you will have an enhanced basic. Now, this is an AoE hit. If you're playing pure fiction, it will hit every single target. But if you're going up against 1 or 2 targets, the damage multipliers are increased significantly. So if you're playing something like apocalyptic, you can expect to see it more often. Now, if you guys have the enhanced basic, you guys will not be able to get your advance forward. So right now, to take advantage of it, we're going to pop this, and then I'm going to ult with Sunday to accumulate her energy. And then we're going to use Huohuo so we can bring her back up. This is going to be techie because now that she's back up, we can actually make use of another free Sunday skill, meaning that she's going to have multiple turns. This also means that we can get away with running another ultimate, and now that we have the extra ultimate, we're going to be able to use another enhanced skill immediately. That is insane, and that's all because of the fact that we're able to make use of our advanced forwards with free synergy from them. It's very nice. Again, if you guys aren't running her with Ho-Ho and Sunday, it's going to be much more difficult to be able to take advantage of this, but assuming you have a best in slot team, it's going to be very easy to make use of. Hi guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The video was very simple because Saber herself is actually very simple, at least compared to the rest of the Enforcers cast. We don't have memos fights, we don't have anything. She's just her traditional DPS. She's not even HP scaling like somebody like Maide. No auto mechanic, literally nothing. She is super basic. One thing I forgot to mention is that her ultimate is a bounce, so if you're using it against AoE targets, you're going to be able to do less damage. But the benefit of that is also the fact that because it's AoE, you can kill mobs in pure fiction easier, depending on how squishy they are. But again, it's something very small, and so even though Saber's kit is very simple to understand and most of it is just straight up the core resonance, I'm still going to be making more videos on her because first off, she's a really nice character. Second off, she's a collab. And third, I actually ended up getting E2S1 on her. So I have a lot of ideas I want to be trying. In general, I hope you guys look forward to it. Even though this is just a very simple video, just going off around the rough basis on how you guys want to run her and just the simple understandings of her kit. Even though it's not that complex, I just want to try to do the bare minimum so that I can get the gameplay out. Well, that's the parts that I'm most excited for. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that too. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Bye bye.